November 20th. Welcome back to BWN. I'm Kate Zelkowitz here with your mid-November news. Thanks for tuning in. The MCLA community is in mourning this week after the unexpected death of beloved facilities worker Michael DeMarsico on Sunday. DeMarsico was crossing Howland Avenue around 5 p.m. on his way to present a memorial award for his son, who passed away in 2012 when he was struck and killed by a vehicle. The accident is currently under investigation by local and state police, who have not yet released the driver's name, but believe alcohol was not a factor in the collision. DeMarsico joined MCLA's facilities department 6 years ago and quickly became an integral part of the campus community, bringing kindness and a smile to every task he tackled. He leaves behind his wife, Lisa, and 4 children, Adam, Aubrey, Leah, and Kaylee. MCLA faculty, staff, and students joined DeMarsico's friends and family in mourning his loss and honoring his life. The Trans Funding Justice Project announced this week that they have awarded a grant of more than $6,000 to Berkshire Trans Group, a project of Berkshire Stonewall Community Coalition, the county's longest-standing LGBTQ+ organization. Since 2017, Berkshire Trans Group has been a resource of support and information by and for the local trans community. The grant will allow them to extend the availability of cross-county meetings, which were slated to be reduced due to volunteer burnout, and to begin hiring captioners for trans-specific Berkshire Queer History Project interviews. The group plans to address activists who have been lost to or impacted by LGBTQ+ specific marginalization, including the AIDS crisis and escalated violence against transgender individuals. If you know an activist impacted by LGBTQ+ marginalization, please reach out to queerhistory@berkshirestonewall.org. On November 8th, Pittsfield Fire Department fought to bring a series of structure and brush fires under control. At around 4:20 p.m. on Friday, firefighters responded to fires at 933 Holmes Road and in the neighborhood of Scamwell and Draper Avenues simultaneously. While the Holmes Road fire was minor, the Scamwell-Draper scene was difficult to control, with multiple active fires affecting several homes and a large swath of yard space. Responding firefighters struck a second alarm, bringing Hinsdale and Lenox fire departments to their aid. The fires were brought under control within 90 minutes, and there were no injuries reported, though 2 families have been displaced from 8 and 10 Scamwell Avenue, and they are being assisted by the Red Cross. Pittsfield Fire Investigation Unit is investigating the cause of the fires. On November 15th, Wellness at MCLA hosted Fresh Check Day. Join me in the field as I get the details. Welcome to Fresh Check Day. It's Friday, November 15th, and Wellness at MCLA has thrown an awesome event. There is all sorts of mental health, suicide prevention, and just general fun activities going on behind me. There are a bunch of different departments and offices here and plenty of services for students to get to know.
Hi, I'm Paula Kingsbury Evans. So this is the Empower table where we're talking about identities that we have and stereotypes that go along with it. So we have little pieces of paper that say, I am blank, but I am not blank. And so you choose an identity that you have. You don't have to choose just one. You can fill out multiple cards. And then, so you are this identity, but you are not a stereotype that goes along with it. And we have a little collage of all of the things that we are and things that we are not at MCLA.
My name is Tonya Marie Basil, and I am class of 2026. Fresh Check Day, at least to me, my interpretation of it, is a day to spread awareness about student suicide rates, to spread awareness about student mental health, and kind of give people fun ways to understand that more and be able to help their peers.
Well, there has been a ton to explore here at Fresh Check Day, and I hope everybody is leaving today feeling just a little bit more ready to face what's next and face those finals. Back to you in the studio. On Monday, with just 2 games left in the regular football season, UMass Amherst fired football head coach Don Brown. UMass Amherst Director of Athletics Ryan Bamford announced on Monday that offensive coordinator Shane Montgomery will serve as interim head coach until a new head coach is hired. The search for Brown's replacement will begin immediately. The Minutemen are 2-8 with their only wins against non-football Bowl subdivision opponents and 6-28 in 3 seasons under Brown. They face 8th-ranked Georgia on Saturday. MCLA's theater program 2024-25 season is well underway as their production of William Shakespeare's Measure for Measure, directed by MCLA theater professor Laura Stanley, ran November 8th through 10th. The production received complimentary reviews from audience members who commended the work of the actors and designers to bring it to life. MCLA Theater's next production is The Method Gun, created by the Rude Mex Theater Collective and directed again by Stanley. The Method Gun runs December 6th through 8th. For tickets or more information, you can visit Mosaic on MCLA's website, mcla.edu. On November 12th, 57-year-old Angel Nunez of Troy pled guilty to 15 indictments relating to his role in an organized theft ring that targeted Berkshire Bank locations. He faced charges for attempts to fraudulently withdraw funds from 3 different branches during June and July of 2023. The Berkshire District Attorney's Office recommended a 2-year sentence, but the defense requested house arrest, citing his ongoing medical issues. According to the DA's office, Nunez experienced a severe medical event while awaiting trial and requires medical care beyond what the House of Corrections can provide. Judge Agostini sentenced Nunez to 2 years of probation with the condition that he refrain from committing further crimes. MCLA men's basketball played their first home game of the season on November 13th, losing to the Russell Sage Gators 86-68. Women's basketball, however, has been benched after MCLA Athletics Director Laura Mooney and recently hired head coach Will Brown announced last month that the 24-25 season would be canceled due to a lack of players. In a recent interview with The Beacon, Mooney said having to make the ultimate decision was heartbreaking, knowing the cancellation would disappoint players and fans, as well as impacting other schools in the conference. But with only 6 players on the roster, Mooney said they had no choice, deciding to focus on restructuring and recruiting ahead of the 25-26 season. On November 9th, the New Moon Masonic Lodge in Pittsfield opened its doors to more than 200 Berkshire County veterans and their families for a dinner and resource fair. Representatives from Veterans Affairs and Veterans Services, along with organizations like Hope for Warriors, American Veterans Archaeological Recovery, and High and Mighty Therapeutic Riding Center lined the walls of the hall as vets and their families enjoyed the barbecue dinner catered by a local restaurant. The idea for the fair came from Kyle Kufel, a retired Army sergeant and veteran officer for Massachusetts Masonic District 31, who organized the event with Lodge Master Bernard Tremblay. The two hope to create a roadmap to repeat this event down the road and in other communities across the state. As President Trump's cabinet appointments are announced following his election on November 6th across the United States, all eyes are on D.C. Let's go to BWN reporter Tony Basil in the field as she gets MCLA students' reaction to the results of the election.
Hi, I'm Tony, and I am chatting with some students about their reactions to the election.
I think the election is difficult for me just because of how the experiences I have and what I'm aware of the policies that our president-elect is going to be putting forward.
I think it's pretty embarrassing. To be honest, I think kind of an L for America. Not a big fan of that guy. Not that guy.
I hate him. First of all, I hate him. And second of all, if it was anyone else but him, he wouldn't even be allowed to vote because he's a felon. So why we allow him in the White House is beyond me.
I don't have that many feelings about the election. I have had my news turned off on my phone for over 2 years. I didn't even realize yesterday was election day until like last week.
It was definitely very stressful to wake up this morning and to check my phone and see those election results. And yeah, it makes me definitely very worried about the future of both America and the world, and also its impact on this institution.
I'm just happy that we live in a country where we can have elections, and I'm a firm believer in that Most of the legislation now is going to be turned to states, so it's more so we should worry about like state-run facilities and stuff.
I'm kind of scared for my future, kind of for my family's future, because my family's not from America. So
I didn't vote because I live in a separate state and I'm not doing mail-in.
I think for me, it's just important to like prioritize the health of the people around me because I know a lot of people who are in a bad place because of it.
I don't really want to talk too much about it, especially to people that I am really close friends with, because they like to form opinions and drop people because of it.
I think people just are scared and nervous, which feeling's valid, but I think either way that like at least we got the opportunity to vote.
I don't appreciate his personal attacks against my country of heritage, my identity, my friends' identities, my family's identities. So I just don't get it. Like, I don't know, like, why?
It's tough, but I think I'm gonna survive, and I think you're gonna survive. So that's what's important.
Okay, Kate, back to you. Front office staff at Herberg Middle School in Pittsfield have a mystery on their hands after a 63-year-old postcard was dropped off with the morning mail earlier this month. The handwritten postcard, signed by a Sue Smart and addressed to Mr. R. Guidi, was sent from Paris and describes Smart's travels in France and Switzerland. Dorothy McGurn, a clerk in the office, says their working theory is that Smart was a staff member or student at the school and sent the card while on vacation to Raymond Guidi, the school's former art teacher, though no one from the time still works at the school who could confirm. Postal workers believe the card may have been stuck in a crevice and freed when a piece of machinery or old stock was moved, hence its over 60-year delivery delay. The card has been framed and resides in the school's office, but staff say if members of either Smart or Guidi's families come forward, they would happily return it. On November 8th, Tara Warner and One Berkshire cut the ribbon on Truffles by Tara, a pop-up chocolate and confection store in downtown Pittsfield. Open through November and December, the shop is the business's home for the holidays, stocking Warner's hand-rolled and dipped treats on their own and in advent calendars. Representatives from Downtown Pittsfield Incorporated, One Berkshire, the City Office of Cultural Development, and even Pittsfield's mayor, Peter Marchetti, attended to celebrate the opening of the pop-up and to enjoy Tara's truffles. Across Massachusetts, wildfires continue to burn as at least 3 more were reported in western Mass over the weekend. After a record high 200 wildfires reported in October, November has already seen more than 260 fires in less than 3 weeks, over 12 times the average for the month, according to the Department of Conservation and Recreation's Forest Fire Control. News 22's Jack Wu says recent rain across the state hasn't been consistent enough to help control the blazes, but with precipitation in the forecast for this weekend, it may be soon. MCLA's Gender and Sexuality Center, along with the Queer Student Union, will honor Transgender Day of Remembrance and Resilience with a vigil on the afternoon of Thursday, November 21st. The event invites the campus community to come together to commemorate those who have lost their lives to violence against transgender people and to recognize and honor the resilience of the trans community. Veteran and Pittsfield resident Anthony, or Tony, Salatino Jr. was honored by Mayor Peter Marchetti during a Pittsfield City Council meeting on November 12th, as he approaches his 102nd birthday. Salatino was born on November 27th, 1922, in Calabria, Italy, and he came to Pittsfield in 1937 with his older brother to join their father. He graduated from Pittsfield High School and joined the Army in 1943, before becoming a corporal and medical technician at Headquarters Medical Corps, and received an honorable discharge in 1946. Salatino married his wife of 71 years in 1953, and they raised 4 children in Pittsfield. They have 7 grandchildren and 8 great-grandchildren. Mayor Marchetti called his devotion to his family a testament to his love of life and ability to put others before himself. And, of course, an inspiration to all. That's all we have for you today. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at MCLA Beacon. Thank you for joining us. BWN will return after the Thanksgiving holiday. We are thankful for your viewership and support. For BWN, I'm Kate Zelkowitz.